was a very good morning from him, and of course it's a very good morning from me. Welcome everybody to my mortgage live stream. Welcome to this almost middle of September now, isn't it? It's getting very autumnal out there. We've had some terrible weather here, all across the UK. Really, it's getting ever so autumnal. I can imagine the leaves falling from the trees now. But anyway, that's the way it goes, isn't it? Welcome to our mortgage live stream. Updates for you as always on all good things mortgages and financial services side of things. Got a couple of great ideas for you to help you with your business today, particularly if you're doing some online presenting, but also if you're looking at setting up your business as well. And that's the first topic that I'd like to go to as we crack on. Hope you're good. Hope you're well. Hope you're looking forward to a busier autumn. Interesting, a bit of a slow start this September, actually, oddly enough. I don't think our Chancellor's helping very much, or our Prime Minister, the doom and gloom merchants as they are. But we'll see. We'll see how things pan out. There's always 31 or 30 odd days in a month, isn't there? Okay, let's get on to my first topic, really, now, which was inspired by an email that I was sent through by one of the people on our membership list, and it was quite an interesting email, and as a result of the email I responded to him, and I got a few ideas to help you. So let's take a look at three questions really that's typically people have if they've just started off as mortgage advisors, mortgage brokers. Now, my good friend emailed me and said that he's just started off and he's getting his CAS, as people do. And he's looking around the office that he's working in. He's self-employed. He's just about to get approval. He's looking around his office and he sees there's lots of mortgage brokers around. He thinks there's a lot of people offering mortgage advice, and there are. That's the point. And he's getting very worried about how he's going to get some business, how he's going to get some clients. So that was the first question, really, that we wanted to ask. And it looks like this, the first question. There we are. Where do I get my clients from is the first question. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop across to the whiteboard now, and we're going to pick up on some ideas to help you here. Now, the key thing about my friend is that he's going to be self-employed. Now, self-employment is not everybody's choice. Let's put that up there for you. The marketplace has changed over the few years. 6-10 years ago, you could have got an employed position at a bank or a building society working in a branch somewhere. And you would have been paid a salary and you'd be well trained and all those good things. And that's how most people started. That's all gone now, which whether it will come back, I don't know. So the majority of new positions as mortgage brokers, mortgage advisors are self-employed via a network. It might not be your cup of tea. I get that totally. You have to have a certain mindset if you're a self-employed dude. I mean, self-employed people have a sort of an entrepreneurial, put my teeth back in, mindset when it comes to it. Now, the first thing that you need to do when you're self-employed is, I think, decide on your positioning. Your positioning. That's the first thing you need to do. Because my friend is right. There are a lot of brokers and mortgage advisors out there who are giving advice to anybody that they come across, and they're trying to market and go on social media and everything to get business. But the first thing you do is position. Now, the phrase I like to use is position yourself in the market an inch wide and a mile deep. Now, what do I mean by that? An inch wide means that you've niched yourself very, very precisely, very precisely. And because you've niched yourself in a certain part of the marketplace, you've got really good at that. In other words, it's a mile deep. You've really got to know that sector. It has become your expertise area. So how do you do that? Well, there's 3 or 4 things you can do to position yourself. The first thing you can decide when it's come to positioning is who are going to be your customers, or your clients, as we often like to call them. Now, don't say everybody, because that won't help you, particularly if you're going to start marketing, because the whole point behind positioning is you market. Who are your customers? It might be a type of customer. It might be footballers or rugby players or dentists or whatever. So it's your customer types, really. You can go for first-time buyers, but there's a lot of them. That's not precise enough. It needs to be a particular type of customer. I've got plenty of people I coach who have a particular niche of customers' occupation, which they've got really good at, and people refer. Dentists, I joked about that one, footballers. So that's the first one that you want to start you're looking at for your marketplace. Number two is your location. That might well be that you are in Birmingham, or you're online, or you're in Hampshire, or you're in Bristol, or whatever. So suddenly you're dealing with dentists in the Bristol area, and that becomes who you specialize in. That's your positioning, that's your marketplace. The third one for you is your specialist area, your specialism. Now, what are you going to specialize in? What's your specialism? What are you going to become known for? What are you going to get a mile deep on? It might be that your specialism is going to be development finance and bridgings and second charges, that sort of business. That's a very specialist area. It might be that you're going to be specialized in the later life marketplace. It might be that you're going to be specialised in the first-time buyer marketplace. I get that, but you're going to looking at first-time buyer dentists in the Bristol area. So slightly niched as much as you possibly can. But there's a lot of brokers who are doing first-time buyer type mortgages using high street lenders. That's not really positioning, really, because there's a lot of them. And the lenders themselves sell their own mortgages directly to customers, and they do it, using tech, because they've got bigger budgets than you have. Now, the third area is what is going to be your role, really. Is not fourth area. What's going to be your role? Are you going to be a mortgage advisor? Are you going to be a mortgage broker? Are you going to be a mortgage and protection advisor? Are you going to be a financial advisor? What role will you carry out? A later life advisor? So suddenly, therefore, you're starting to get a proposition now that's an inch wide and a mile deep. So, for example, you might decide that you're going to focus on professional rugby players in the southwest of England, and you're going to help them to purchase development projects, buy-to-lets. You might be in that marketplace, and you're going to be a mortgage broker only. So suddenly, you're just a mortgage broker specialising in buy-to-lets and development finance, that sort of thing, to professional rugby players in the southwest. Now, you can then start to market that. That becomes your proposition. You put it out there on social. That's your marketplace. You start to find those people. Get better, of course, at the topics. Perhaps get some exams on the specialist side of mortgages. Understand the professional rugby player market, or wherever it is you want to get into. Start to get referrals, and it really starts to bubble. But one thing I will say to you, though, is if somebody contacts you out of the blue and says, would you organise my mortgage for me? Say yes. This is for your marketing purposes. This positioning is so that you as a self-employed person can market, can go online, do your socials, do your LinkedIn, your Facebooks, your Instagrams, or whatever you want to do. Start producing content, sponsor roundabouts, or whatever you want to do. Start to market, and you market with the position that you've created. So remember, an inch wide and a mile deep. The finer, the more precise you get in your market, you will have less and less competition. The bigger your market that you're going to be marketing to, you'll have a ton of competition. And you'll have fee-free brokers selling their wares who, of course, are going to undercut you. So be careful of selling to everybody with a pulse. That's not how being self-employed really works. So that was the first question I had to my friend. Now, I did get a couple other emails actually last week, interestingly enough, with other questions, which I thought you might be interested in finding. This was the next one. How can I get my CAS? Was the next question that I got through. So let's just pop on over here so you can see me. How can I get my CAS? Well, as you know, CAS is competent advisor status. And a lot of people ask this to me. And the best metaphor for CAS is the driving test, if any of you have taken your driving test recently, with the theory test involved. Now, to become a mortgage and protection advisor, you need a qualification. CeMAP is the one that people tend to go for. That's a bit like doing your theory test. In other words, you go into the exam room and you take a test on the highway code. You have to learn the highway code or read it once and then take a test. So passing CeMAP is great, but it's only your first step. What you then need to do, of course, is to get your practical driving test done. And that involves a lot more practice. You jump in a car with your mum or your dad or your big brother or whatever, and they take you out for practice. You pay for lessons to an instructor who will take you through the motions in a car with dual controls. you'll get better and better at driving. And when you feel that you're ready to drive properly, you then get a test person in there who then tests you in the driving practical test, and you pass or fail. Okay, you're not the best driver in the world, of course, because you're not. You've probably not been on a motorway yet, but at least you are qualified, and you've been certified, if you like, as reaching the basic competence to drive. Now, CAS is the same thing. CAS is where you've done your CeMAP, and everyone's a winner of that. And then you have to join a company or become a network member, a self-employed network member, or join a firm as an employee. And they take you through clients, role plays, real client fact finds. Somebody watches you, observes you, ticks off a little checklist. You get better and better at the job itself, sourcing mortgages, that sort of thing. And they test you and check you. And once you reach a certain competence that they determine, by the way, CAS is individual for different firms. They've got their own competence definition. It's not anything written down as such. It's not an external exam that you can go and get in a classroom. You have to join a company, and they give you their CAS. And if you went to join another company, you'd have to get CAS from them as well. It's all very much an individual thing. So that's CAS. And it's an area that a lot of people don't think about when they want to become a mortgage advisor. Great. Third question for you, which I think you might be interested in, is this one. Where can I access lenders for my clients? Where can I get my lenders from? Well, odd question to ask, really, but a lot of people ask me that question. Where can you get your lenders from? Now, lenders themselves, or product providers, as we like to call them, are very useful people. Without them, we've got no mortgages to sell to people, have we? And you've got banks and building societies, and of course you've got the specialist lenders. So there's plenty of them about. Now, they won't deal with you unless you effectively have an agency with them. So you can't just suddenly become self-employed and start dealing with every lender, because they don't know who you are. So you have to be approved. Now, I remember back in the day, back in the 80s, 90s, when I was in the building society trade, we used to have what they called life inspectors. And these were business development managers who worked for the life insurance companies, who came to us and inspected us. And if they approved us, they would let us sell their products. That's not actually far dissimilar to what it is nowadays. But to do this, you have to join some company or network that's already got these relationships with these lenders. So typically what you're going to do here is you're going to join your network. Now, your network, and there's several networks that you can choose, in which you get your AR status, your appointed representative status as self-employed, will already have arrangements with lots and lots of lenders. They've already done the negotiating and the fees and the proc fee negotiating. And one client I deal with has got 180 lenders that they deal with. That's a lot of lenders that you can deal with. And typically, the network will have software which you can use to access them. It'll be some kind of sourcing software. They may use Trigold or Air or ViceWise, something like that, who have already got the ability to search all the lenders and get all the deals out. But so the job's done for you. You could also look at clubs. Mortgage clubs are quite useful. L&G Mortgage Club, there's several clubs that you could use, and they've already got arrangements with lenders as well. And again, they might have a better proc fee available to you if you can join the mortgage club. So these all help to get your business as well. Obviously, what you want is you want to have as many lenders as possible available to you. Now, I remember talking to a new broker, and she went to work for this company. I think she was employed, and the guy who ran the firm was very old school. And I said to her, how many lenders does he use? And she said 5. I said, does he really? She said, yeah, he uses a couple of high street lenders. He's got one specialist lender and a couple of building societies. And that's all he ever used. And he had the criteria on pieces of paper, very old school, but hey, it worked. In reality, actually, most brokers don't use lots and lots of lenders. You won't. You'll have your 8, 9, 10 favourite ones to a degree. Obviously, you source the best lender. Of course you do. But sourcing a lender isn't a regulatory practice anyway. Giving mortgage advice is what you're regulated for, authorised for. Finding a lender isn't a regulated piece. But yeah, you've got to make sure you get arrangements with lenders. You can't just suddenly use whatever lender you want. So that was the third question we had, which I thought was a nice question too. Where can I access lenders for my clients? And that brings us nicely then onto our last topic, because I want to talk to you now about a little sales tip to help you. So I hope those three questions helped you. But before we go there, let me just introduce what I created as a result of getting these questions coming through from our members on the database. And I brought in a new product now for the autumn, which I'm very excited about actually. And I'll tell you what it's called. Put a little video up there for you, or picture. CeMAP and Beyond. Do you like the photograph? It's quite smart, isn't it? CeMAP and Beyond is the product that we're introducing. I'd like to tell you a little bit more about that because you might be interested yourself. So CeMAP and Beyond, or Beyond CeMAP, the concept, of course, is you've got your CeMAP. What's the next stage for you? And we've got a product in the autumn which is quite exciting. But first of all, it's live. So I'm going to invite you to come along live in autumn 2024, which is obviously this autumn. During the autumn, I have for you 8 live streams that we're going to run for about half an hour, 45 minutes in the evening around 6 o'clock. These 8 live streams, which of course are going to be recorded as well, which will certainly help those that want to. They're pre-recorded if you miss them live, or you can actually watch them live if you prefer to as well. They're based upon concepts in my book, Mortgage Advising: The New Rules, which you might have picked up as well. Actually, we give you a copy of that book as well, a PDF copy anyway, which you can then download. So you've got these live streams to attend, and I'll tell you about the content in those in a second. They really will help you for Beyond CeMAP. That's the whole point. But we're also throwing into the deal, if you like, a 30-minute Zoom coaching session with me, so you can have half an hour on my time. You can ask me any question you like about any aspect of your career in mortgage advising, mortgage and protection advising. So there's 3 things there for you. You've got the live streams, which are pre-recorded. You've got the PDF of the book, of course, plus you have the 30-minute Zoom coaching. So what are the live streams then? This is where it gets quite exciting. So we've got quite a few for you. So let me just pop across over here so you can see that. The first one, which we're doing in October, is choosing your network, what to look for. We've got a number of conduits that we've set up to pass you on to various networks. But what should you look for in the network that you choose? Now, that's going to come from me. I mean, I don't run a network, so I've got no bias here at all. I will tell you what you need to think about when choosing your network. Number 2 is choosing your lane. We talked about that earlier, didn't we? So niching your advisor business, how you should niche it properly, options that you should do to help you with your marketing side of things. Number 3 there, building and maintaining your client base. That's one in November. They're all at 6 p.m. On the usually Thursday evening. Remember, they're recorded, so you can watch the recording afterwards as well. So that's a really good one, because you've got to build a client base. Otherwise, you're not going to feed the kids. Number 4 is your sales process and your discovery call. Discovery call is really important. That's where you sell the fee and the proposition and everything that you do. And we'll take a look at your sales process so you get one that works really well for you. Number 5 is fact finding and exploring needs. So I'm going to pick up on fact finding, how you can do that and do that really effectively. The next one is simplifying the tech for mortgage advisors. So there's a lot of tech, and there should be too. So we're going to talk to you about the various tech that you can get to help you to run a mortgage advice practice, which is really important. Then, of course, we've got the new year. We've got goal setting your goals. I call them achievement goal setting. Got a lovely session for you on that one. And the first one in January, or the last one I should say, is diversifying your advice, protection, later life, specialist lending, how you can diversify and get different income streams as a business owner. Now, as you can appreciate, these live streams are me talking to you. People can come on live and ask questions. Love it if you would do. People will send me questions beforehand as well. But it's your chance to come in and type in questions and get some answers from me. All pre-recorded, all put onto the portal so you can access those. We'll give you a year to be able to watch these as well. Remember, it's a PDF of the book as well. And you get that 30-minute coaching session as well. And the price is something you will probably be very happy with. So get online to find out about that one, called CeMAP and Beyond. And if you're interested, just email me and I'll give you details about that one. All right. Hope that's been useful for you. Okay, let's finish off then with something that might help you if you're running online sessions with your clients, or you're going to be doing some presentations, online seminars or whatever. I want to give you 10 ways to engage your audience online. That's my key one for you today. Now, we all know that we must do something to engage people online. Otherwise, they'll turn on, tune in and drop out. So I've got 10 methods to help you. First one is polls. Polls are simple and effective, but need to be prepared beforehand. Just save them beforehand and bring it up in an instant. Q&As, number 2, are fail-safes. I mean, vary how you ask your audience questions, of course. You can ask them verbally, using the chat or an interactive whiteboard, but they always work. Number 3 is stories. Stories involve the audience in a subconscious level, since they're vividly using their imagination, so they are involved. Number 4 is chat. Useful, easy and welcomed by many people who don't want to appear on video. Have them enter information in the chat box, encourage people to comment on the chats, using emojis to stimulate further conversation. They work very well. Number 5, icebreakers. Not everybody's cup of tea, I get that. One of my favourites is the Lion King's conference. Just Google that or ask ChatGPT. It's really funny and really good. Number 6, interactive whiteboards. Very stimulating, again needs to be prepared beforehand, or at least practiced by you beforehand as well. And let everybody contribute to the interactive digital whiteboard. It really brings out people's involvement. Number 7, breakouts, my favourite. However, you do need to warm up your group for breakouts. Keep them short, be precise with your instructions, keep the group size to about 3 or 4, and make sure they have a leader who takes control of the group. Number 8, group discussions. Very easy to start, but very tricky to keep going and get everybody involved. Make sure you have everybody's image on gallery view and have a really big screen as well, so you can see people's faces and you can pick up people's indication that they want to talk. At CeMAP, it looks as though you want to say something. It's what you can do if you can see people's faces during a group discussion. Number 9, PPPP. That's 4 Ps, by the way. During a group discussion or Q&A, ask questions using PPPP. Pose the question, pause, pounce on somebody, and then praise them afterwards. The pouncing on somebody is really important on video, because if you don't, everybody answers at the same time. It's all a bit of a mess. Last one, number 10, go Google, or go ChatGPT, of course. Ask the group to go and Google something to stimulate involvement. It's simple. People who use their computer, their laptop, or even their phone, which of course is a third limb for many of the generations. So there's 10 for you. Does anyone know where the phrase, though, turn on, tune in and drop out comes from? It evolves from the 1960s, a psychologist called Timothy Leary. So Google that if you want to find out about Timothy Leary. It's really interesting. Brilliant. Okay, so that's again useful, isn't it? All these good things help you in your business, which is what it's about. So remember, we've got that CeMAP and Beyond product. If you want to get onto our database, of course, you need to be able to do that. And here's the QR code. We keep you informed of things like the CeMAP and Beyond, and all the new products that we've got coming in. So make sure that you get onto our development database there, so we can keep you informed of all things. Other than that, I'm going to wish you a fantastic week. Enjoy the weather if it does improve somewhat. I don't know if it will do, but we'll see you again next Monday.